Growing a Healthy Child, where we help busy parents grow healthy kids with less stress and more joy.
Welcome to the Growing a Healthy Child podcast. Today, we're making a quick and easy red lentil flatbread. This recipe is a great option for a fast, healthy vegan snack or meal. It's simple to make, kid-friendly, gluten-free, and whole food plant-based. It's also high in protein and fiber, making it a filling and nourishing option that your family will love.
I'm also going to say it has no dyes. We're using red lentils and they
Yes.
are natural red lentils. My name is Meryl Fury. I'm a registered nurse and president and CEO of Plant Based Nutrition Movement. I'm also mother of something like 3 to 7 kids, depends on the day and how I count them.
And my name is Carrie Bruno. I'm a pharmacist, health coach, and board member for Plant Based Nutrition Movement. Our mission is to help you, busy working moms, raise healthy kids. For us, that all starts with delicious food that nourishes growing minds and bodies. Our commitment is that your family thrives and everyone lives their best life, starting now.
Totally. So let me paint a picture for you. This has happened to me so many times. It's been a long day. I had an unpleasant commute on the way home. I pick up the kids or they come home from school. And by the time I get in the door, they are hangry. They're swarming around my ankles. Or if they're teenagers, they're distanced and off in their room, but everybody wants something to eat. And at the same time, I'm hangry too. I need to fix something that's going to work and be yummy, and nobody's going to complain about it. If you have that situation or you have those questions, that's what we're working on today.
Yeah. So just quickly before we get started, if you're interested in more evidence-based blog articles, interviews with well-respected people in the field, and great recipes for plant-based nutrition, check us out. We're at pbnm.org, the 6 Million Seeds Child Nutrition Project. The link is below in the show notes. So, okay, now let's get cooking.
Let's go. Okay, so we're making red lentil flatbread.
Yeah, this was actually a request from one of our viewers for a super easy red lentil flatbread recipe, and we have one to share.
Yes. So we're going to have to do a little prep here. We've already gotten the red lentils. We went to the store.
Yep.
If we could show those.
Yep. So one thing great about this recipe is it only has 2, maybe 3 ingredients, depending on what you prefer. Water and red lentils are the 2 necessary ones. We're using green onions to flavor them up a little bit, but that's completely optional. So I, like Meryl mentioned, a bag of red lentils, a 1 pound bag is what we're using. Then this bag itself there's enough in this bag to make this recipe like 3 or 4 times. So you can stretch that bag pretty far. But what we do is we take 1 cup of the red lentils, the dry red lentils, and soak it in 2 cups of hot water for at least 15 minutes, but longer is fine as well.
Okay, so actually I used cold water this time.
Okay.
Yep, just because.
Either one.
Water is water.
I will say if you use cold water, it might take a little longer. Hot water, you can let it sit for 15 minutes and it will soak quickly. But cold water, if you're going to let it sit for a longer period of time, is perfectly fine.
Yes, and that's what I did. I was up early and I wound up soaking them longer than I ever anticipated. In the meantime here, I am heating up a nonstick pan. I did add oil to it because the nonstick coatings are still a little bit problematic, and we don't want to have to heat it so high that it begins to affect the quality of the nonstick surface. So I have a little bit of oil in there. I'm wiping out most of it. It was extra virgin olive oil. Now we have the red lentils, like we said, they've already been soaking. They look like this. You can see this beautiful orange color.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what are red lentils and why are they different from the other kinds of lentils?
Yeah, so red lentils are actually seeds, believe it or not. They're in the bean or legume family. There are multiple different varieties: green, brown, yellow, black, French green, red, whatever color you'd like. But the interesting part about red lentils, besides the color, is that they are actually the inner part of the seed. So the outer hull has been removed. So they are easier to cook down. They're quick cooking. And they lend themselves better to like soups and stews because they're quicker cooking and batters like the one we're going to make today.
Yeah, red lentils are also split,
Yes.
right? So it's not the whole lentil like you'll find with a green lentil, which is completely intact, basically unprocessed. These are split, so again, they lend themselves to quick cooking, and they're very soft and very velvety when you make them into a dish.
So the next step would be to take the lentils that have been soaking in the water and mix them up in a blender. So we're going to go ahead and do that really quickly.
So now the lentils have been pureed. They're like a really thin kind of pancake batter. Almost, if it had been any thinner, you might think it was going to be a crepe batter.
Yeah. Okay. And it only takes like maybe 30 seconds to a minute in the blender, so really quick.
Yes, yes, especially because they were soaking for a long time. So now, one of the worst things we can do, and actually we're just gonna wait.
Patience is a virtue when you're making flatbreads.
Yes, the pan has got to be hot because it will absolutely cause a problem.
Yes.
If it's not hot enough.
Trust us.
Yes.
We know.
We tested this a few times. So I'm putting oil in here.
Yes.
So we're just going to try.
Probably better than like a stainless steel or a pan that's not nonstick.
Right.
That would not go well.
No. So. But we're going to try and keep the temperature moderated. Yeah. So that the coating isn't getting overly heated and the flatbread actually cooks nicely and doesn't burn and all these good things. Yeah. So now we're going to put these flatbreads in a pan. I just want to make sure it's hot enough. That looks like it's frying, doesn't it? We are going to dip the ladle into the flatbread red lentil batter, which you can see here in the food camp.
It's perfect orange color.
It is beautiful. It looks like a creamsicle.
It does.
As you can hear, the pan is pretty hot, and I am thinning it out with the bottom of the ladle. Now you could just pour the batter in, but I think there's something to be said for moving it around with the bottom of the ladle.
And so these are about maybe 4 to 6 inches in diameter. And depending on the size that you make them and the thickness of your batter, you'll get about maybe 4 to 6 with this recipe. Kind of resembles like a pancake or a tortilla. That's kind of what we were going for. So it's a fairly good shape. And I'm going to sprinkle some green onions on top for extra flavor.
Now we've tested these a couple times now. It is a bit of a learning curve to make these, just a tiny bit.
But it's fun.
It is, and it actually is just super simple recipe.
Yeah.
You just, I mean, I think it's more of a learning curve with learning your pan, how to work with the pan and the temperature.
Completely true.
That's a little bit of a challenge. So you can see that we've put some green onions on top. You could also put crushed red pepper.
So many different flavor options that you could go with. Everything bagel seasoning would be another great one. Yep. You can look for a seasoning mix similar to that has little or no salt. That would be a good option to go with. One thing I would suggest, we're using green onions, which is okay to sprinkle on top, but in one of the renditions that we tried this, we put some seasonings and spice mixtures on it, and when you flip it over, they can tend to burn. So if you're gonna try one of the spice mixtures, maybe incorporate it into the batter and mix it up a little bit so that it's not on the surface of the tortilla and it doesn't burn when you flip it. So
yes, or flatbread. Not
or tortilla, yes. Well, we're gonna use them as tortillas.
That's right, or crepes, whatever you like, But you can see this one, it's just beautiful, golden brown color.
Lovely.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful.
It's a work of art.
It's tender on the top. It's very much like a pancake in how it looks, and we just it's the temperature of the pan is is the critical factor there.
Yes, it is.
So we're just gonna let it cook a little bit longer
Mhm.
till it is toasted or browned, a little bit golden brown on the other side.
Yeah. So in the meantime, you might be asking, so what are the benefits of red lentils and why would you want to use them?
Who
So
cares about red lentils?
I know. Well, we do, and we're going to tell you why. So they have plenty of nutrients. Some of the big ones that we mentioned earlier, protein and fiber. Very, very good. They also have plenty of B vitamins, magnesium, zinc, potassium, iron, and plenty of other phytonutrients or plant nutrients from plants. So they're also very inexpensive. Like I mentioned, a 1 pound bag that you can use to make this recipe 3 or 4 times probably costs maybe anywhere from like $1.30 to a couple dollars.
Right. And you can
Very
even,
inexpensive.
if you have a store near you that sells beans and rice in bulk,
Yes.
you could do
Yes.
it that way too.
One of the other benefits I was going to mention is that they're very easy to find. You can find these at almost any grocery store, I'd say. You don't necessarily have to go to a specialty grocery store. So like Walmart would be a great option. If for some reason your grocery store has lentils, but maybe not the red ones, you could get these online if that is one of your only options. But they are very easy to find and in most grocery stores.
I just dropped a whole bunch in here by accident, so
That's okay.
so you'll know there's nothing perfect
You
in
know,
the
if
kitchen.
you have an accident in the kitchen, just roll with it.
That's right.
Just
There's
find a
nothing
way
perfect.
to make it work.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing is we were talking about the kids swarming around your ankles or
Yes.
being distanced in their rooms. One of the things that works really well for getting your kids to eat healthier foods is to get them engaged.
Yes.
Probably one of the worst things we can do as busy moms, and I understand completely what that is, but one of the worst things we can do is tell our kids, you know, go off and go do something. I'll fix breakfast, lunch, dinner.
Yeah.
One of the most wonderful inclusive things we can do is invite them in to help. Have them cut or chop if they're, you know, you feel safe with them with a knife. Oops, we need the green onions.
Yeah.
Have them choose what's going to go in as the add-in here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Have them be involved as much as possible.
And that gets them so much more interested in actually trying it. If you have a child that's maybe more on the picky side, let them pick the add-ons or the spices that you use or the seasonings that you use. And maybe that will encourage them to try it and to like it.
The other thing is it helps build relationship in the kitchen. So like I said, I have somewhere between 3 and 7 children. 2 of them are my biologicals, and the others I have adopted over years, and I am so grateful that they're in my life, right? When we all get together on a holiday, everybody is in the kitchen. Now my 3 closest, it's my 2 biologicals and my 1 bonus daughter, they're grown, right? But when it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever holiday, graduation parties, whatever, we are all in it together. We're all working it together. And we try not to make it heavy. We keep it light. We make jokes. We get
fun.
We poke fun at whatever each other are making. Now, let me just tell you a little bit here about this as I'm flipping this. What we have found is, like I said, the temperature of the pan is really important.
It is.
And your patience in letting it cook is super important also.
Yes, don't touch it.
Don't rush it. So take your flexible spatula so you are not scraping up your nonstick pan and just run it around the outer edge of your flatbread, because you want to make sure it's going to flip nicely and it's going to be golden brown. Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of myself.
Yes,
make sure it's going to be golden brown and pancake like for your final product, right? And you'll notice the steam kind of coming off the flatbread. You can definitely touch it and see if it's crunchy, is it tender, is it still wet on the inside. You can get a sense of all of that.
And it's a little bit of trial and error. I mean, the first one usually doesn't come out the best. So you'll kind of be able to play with your pan and the batter and see what works for your specific setup.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And just because in the recipe it's going to say medium high for
Yeah.
the temperature, please turn down the temperature if it's going too fast or it's cooking and burning faster than you are ready for. I'd say medium to medium, a little bit below medium to toward low might be a better temperature. At least that's
Yeah.
what it is on this stove.
Yeah.
It's also going to be different if you're using electric stove versus a gas stove, right? Because those are different things. Okay, I'm going to try checking to see if it's ready to go.
It looks
Look at that.
great.
Oh my goodness, I'm so proud.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to do one more. And as you may or may not know, I'm going to wipe out this pan first, only because it's starting to get little bits on it. And that also means then a little more oil, but I don't want to smoke the oil. When you add oil to this pan, you're going to wipe it out and you don't want the oil to smoke. Smoking oil is a sign of free radicals, which are not healthy.
No.
Not healthy to people or other living things. All right, let's see if I can do this without dropping it.
One
this
more
time.
spoonful of batter.
One more time. All right, here we go.
Right in the center.
Kind of draw it out into a circle. So good.
It smells really, really good.
Yeah, you can hear it sizzling. Green onions. Green onions. You know what? I think for this one, I'm going to add a little crushed red pepper just because I can.
You know, we love crushed red peppers, so that sounds like a great idea.
One thing we should do, although kids might not be too interested, but we might want to do something on peppers.
Yes.
So,
and another thing, when you're eating foods that are more plant-based, you kind of need to spice them up. So even if you're hesitant to use, you don't like spicy food, or you're hesitant to use peppers, give it a try. They're not all overpoweringly spicy.
right,
and just add a little bit of kick. And
you can
yeah.
manage the amounts you use. You don't have to use a whole tablespoon of crushed red pepper, right? Maybe it's
you
whatever. Maybe it's just a quarter teaspoon or a half a teaspoon or something like that. You know, just to give it a little bit of extra kick. Now,
and it makes it so much more beautiful. It's got the red and the green and the orange.
It does.
How can you go wrong?
That's right. Now we're going to use these flatbreads today as our palette. We're making pictures.
Yeah.
So if you have younger kids,
this would be the point to get them involved.
Yes. Yes, younger kids or kids who are willing to be playful. I know by the time kids get to be 14, 15, they can be kind of jaded. Older than their years they are. But we're going to use these as a little bit of a canvas with
make some art.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. This is very pretty. You can see here we have the green onion and the light orange of the flatbread mixture with the red lentils, and then we have the crushed red pepper flakes all over distributed on top. Very beautiful.
It looks beautiful, and I'm sure it's going to taste amazing.
I can't wait. Okay, so I am going around the edge with the spatula, going around the edge of the flatbread. It's releasing from the pan nicely. I'm going to flip it over.
Golden brown.
Ta-da. Yes, beautiful. I'm very happy today. Yes. Doesn't take much to make us happy.
Just make flatbreads.
That's right. Pretty flatbreads carry the day.
Yes, yes.
So good. So good.
So yeah. And one other fun fact about red lentils is you can use them in so many other different recipes. So if you have a bag and you don't use the whole bag for the flatbread recipe, try them out in something else. Like we mentioned earlier, they cook quickly and they kind of get creamy. So you could put them in soups and stews. You could make them into batter and you make something other than flatbread. Very versatile. Yeah. One of my favorite comfort food recipes is actually a red lentil curry, which the way it's traditionally made is with coconut milk. If you don't drink coconut milk, or you have a
tree nut allergy, you can easily leave that out,
Mhm.
substitute it for oat milk or whatever. But it's very warming and it's just a great comfort food. I don't have any better name for that. When I'm sad,
great.
when I'm sad and it's been a hard day, that gets me through. It really does. So we are gonna spin this around. It still feels a little stuck,
Yeah.
a little wet on the bottom. Yeah, but even, if maybe you're not much of a cook, you don't feel too confident or
Mhm.
secure in the kitchen, this is one you could play with and learn.
Yeah, it is.
Mostly because the ingredients are so inexpensive. Even if you destroy a whole bag of lentils, which you wouldn't, but even if you went through a whole bag of lentils trying to perfect this recipe, you wouldn't be out more than $1.40.
Yeah. And another tip would be, if you make a lot of batter and you either don't want to use it or you don't have, if maybe you're not making it for a large family, you can either keep the unused batter in the fridge for a few days and make them fresh when you want them, or you can make a big batch and you can freeze them, and then they're convenient and you can have them for one of those crazy nights where you come home and you need
Yes.
something quick.
Yes,
They just thaw them out, maybe heat
that's
them up a little
perfect.
bit. So
Yeah.
very easy to make plenty in advance
Yeah.
if you need to.
Okay, so here is what they look like.
Lovely.
We are going to do now a little artwork. Okay.
Are you a parent or caregiver who is unhappy about how your child eats at home?
Wouldn't it be great if you were part of an active, well-informed, supportive community where you could work to transform how we feed our kids so we could make a difference for them and for the planet as a whole?
Well, you can. That community actually exists.
It's a thing.
It is. Join us and get involved. Become a member of Plant-Based Nutrition Movement. There's no cost to join. Join the 6 Million Seeds Coalition and launch a 6 Million Seeds project in your area. Contact us at 6mseeds@pbnm.org.
We want you there.
So now we're going to make a little bit of food art.
Yum.
Yay, we can do this with your kids. Such a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
Let your kids play with their food.
Yes.
Have
fun with it.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I certainly had friends whose mom would say, don't sing at the table, don't play at the table, sit down and eat. And it got to be a very kind of heavy atmosphere. There wasn't a lot of fun talk at the table. At my house, however, my mom really liked to cook. And if we got to the point where we were playing at the table or we were singing, she always took that as a compliment. If we were happy and singing while we ate, she knew she put a good meal on the table.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to let your kids play and sing and come up with things to do. So ready?
Yes. So we are starting with hummus as the base.
Yeah.
Lovely hummus.
So I have a silicone spatula here.
Mhm.
What we're going to do is just smear hummus over, and I'll show you this in the camera in a minute, over the top of this flatbread.
And you can use store-bought hummus here. You can use homemade. We are using homemade because we have a recipe that we really love. So that's just what we decided to go with.
So that's part one.
And any flavor hummus would work too.
Yeah, whatever works for your family. There's plain old, there's extra garlic, there's roasted red pepper, which is a sweet, not hot pepper.
The flavor of the flatbread is very mild, so adding on different, different flavored hummuses would be great to try out.
All right, next we're making faces.
Little faces.
Oh, sorry, I grabbed two. All right, so we're going to start with a mouth. It's like that. Right, next, we're going to put on eyes, maybe a nose, like that. And of course, your kids can make this however they like, right? And you can use use as much of any of it as you like. The good news is that all this stuff is healthy. You didn't have, what happened to all your
You took them all.
Oops. Well, dang.
We're gonna have to get more black
Here,
olives.
here, you can have that one back.
Those are my favorite, and you stole them all.
Oops. Really, really sorry. Really, forgive me.
I accept your apology.
All right. Fun.
And
All right, now
then
we're gonna put on the hair.
have the hair. So here's some hair for you.
She's so trusting, right? She just gave me.
I know, I gave her all the
took
black
all of the
olives
black
and then I
olives.
criticized her for it.
Right, and she does the same thing again. So trusting. So yeah, everything on this sandwich is totally healthy, and kids can eat way more of it
Yeah.
than if it was, like a boxed, processed something heavy, greasy, heavy salt, lots of chemicals. It's really okay if they want to eat put a lot of hair on, please let them. If they want
Yeah.
to put more black olives on, yes, heck yes. More red bell peppers, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Here's one version. And
there's another version.
nice.
Lovely.
Nice. All right. Now we are going to
Now
taste
the fun
these.
part.
Yes, right? So these are either taco style, you can fold them in half. I'm going to roll mine. Just because I can't, so it looks like that.
I figured out how I want to do mine.
Can I taste mine?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
You don't need permission.
Mm.
I'm gonna fold it over.
Mm. That is so good. 10 out of 10.
Flatbread. The smooth flatbread with the creamy hummus
Mhm.
and all of the toppings, the vegetables.
Mhm.
So
And-
many different flavors and so good.
Really good. Really, really good. Now I would probably add crushed red pepper to mine,
Yes, I will.
just
try that.
because we can. And the way, so for a kid, they make this cute little face out of hummus with the red bell pepper for the mouth and the black olives for the eyes and the nose and the chopped green salad greens, or you could use sprouts or microgreens for hair. Let them make it however they want. Let them add what seasonings they want. This is really good.
Great idea.
Yep, 10 out of 10.
Yep.
Definitely. All right.
I think that's a wrap.
Yeah. You guys try this. Let us know what you think. Thank you, Susie, for asking for this recipe. We owe you one.
Yep.
All right.
All right. See you next time.
All right. Bye-bye, you guys.